All right, YouTube. It's been a minute since I shot a video, so I wanted to start shooting videos again. So it wasn't because of any politics. It wasn't because of any restrictions on YouTube. It just life in general. So I want to talk about something that's a hot topic right now, and it should be. Everybody knows with this COVID-19, it's crazy times right now. Very crazy. Families are tearing each other apart, which brings me to the title of this video, Families with Drug and Alcohol Addictions. So let's start from the beginning. You know, with the restrictions and the COVID-19, specifically during this time this year, a lot of people have been forced to stay home, restrictions, you know, going out, leaving their homes, and people were losing their minds. They were so bored. So the people that drink before COVID-19 drank even more. People that did drugs before COVID-19 did even more. You know, during this restrictions, people were drinking a lot more, doing a lot more drugs. You know, I see a lot of bad things happening, a lot more diseases, a lot more deaths, a lot more cancer, all these different things that are happening to people because of their lifestyle. And by the way, answer me this: why is it that the restrictions where they were closing down restaurants and churches, but liquor stores would stay open? Somebody answer me that. Anyway, you know, if any of you guys have gone through this, my heart goes out to you with family members with addictions, drugs in particular, because it's like a cancer. It destroys everybody in their path, friends, family, neighbors, loved ones in general. And my family here have gone through hell and back for the past, I'd say 7 or 8 years with a family member that is battling drug addiction and alcohol addiction and other addictions. And it is just heart-wrenching. This person will walk away from, you know, a $300,000 house, a new car, a job, her own kids, to live in the woods, to be homeless, no food, but to get that fix. You know, I just want to blame it on evil, but does evil have a face? How can you go without eating food, no water, no dehydration? How's that possible? You know, when your heart takes so much pain and so much suffering, and you see your family in tears, and they're praying more now than they ever have. And my family's, they're all Christians. And so they believe in the power of prayer. I believe in miracles. I believe in prayer. And that's a whole different video. But somebody that is being prayed for has got to want help. You know, even Christ teaches us that those that seek me will find me. Those that need help will get the help. But they got to want to help themselves. You know, I've always said, if you don't love yourself, how can you love your neighbor? I mean, honestly, if you don't like yourself, how are you going to like anybody else? I feel sorry for those individuals that walk on this earth that don't even like what they see in a mirror, because they're missing out on so much in life. Life is so fast. You check in and you check out. It's just like a fast stay at a week in a hotel room. You get all the amenities there, you get all the luxuries just like Earth, and then it's over. You know, why waste it on drugs? Why waste it on a fix, you know, a high, a buzz? Because before you know it, you're going to wake up and you're going to be, let's say, hypothetically speaking, my family member that I'm talking about, let's make up a number because I don't want to disclose the actual age, but let's say 25 years old. All right. When you're done with your
homeless, when you're done with all your drugs, you wake up, now you're 60. The body ain't going to keep taking that. Your family ain't going to keep being there for you. Your friends are not going to be there for you. Your job's not going to be there waiting for you. And I have found this to be, not every case, but I have found this to be that this happens a lot with the upper class people's children. Because they're so freaking spoiled, man. They get everything handed to them. And the families keep bailing them out, bailing them out, bailing them out. I mean, some of them probably have enough money to send them to rehab. Oh, just send them to rehab. Just let them take care of it. Let them deal with it. When actual reality, what you should do is when you have children, teach them about drugs. Teach them about addictions. Explain to them. Give them the tools to fight this off. Without those tools, they don't have a chance. And my family member that I'm referring to was sheltered. That person's whole life was sheltered. You know, they didn't have to worry about cooking or cleaning or paying the bills or anything. The parents just did everything for them. And still do. So if the person wants to, let's say, relapse, and because let me just tell you this family has tried multiple times to clean her up, and she went months, sometimes 6 months, 8 months, didn't do nothing, and all of a sudden, bam. And to see, you know, your spouse, your husband or your wife, whatever, just rip their guts out over their siblings. And you're always fighting, you're always nervous, you can't sleep at night, you're wondering if the person is alive or dead, you're worried that somebody's going to, you know, beat them to death or whatever it may happen out in this. I don't know. I'm not out there. But how can you walk the earth knowing you just abandoned your 2 children? How do you sleep? Wondering if your kids are okay. Of course, they're fine. They're okay. Their families, you know, are here loving the children. But the children are going to be waking up one morning. Where's my mama? I haven't seen my mama in weeks, if not months. And then we, the family, have to try to either lie or tell the truth and hurt them even more, or stall. So the next level is they're going to get into a lot of lying. And you know how you can tell a drug addiction or a drug addict is lying? Their lips move. Everything that comes out is all lies. It's fictitious. They lie, they deceive, they manipulate, they steal, they rob, whatever, choose your metaphor. And then we're left picking up the pieces of the family. You know, getting phone calls that this person's over here, this person's over there. Hey, Tim, you know, you might want to bounce down here and check out what's going on. You might want to check this out, check that out. I mean, it's constantly. It never freaking stops, man. And I think what we should do, I know that terminology, tough love, some people either hate it or I think we all should hate that word, but sometimes it's got to be used. It's just like having any bad thing in life. You don't like it, but you got to use it. But this case, you know, you can choose self-preservation or live your life as a prisoner. You build a wall, a jail cell around yourself because you're surrounded by all these fears and all these phone calls from different people calling you saying, hey, have you seen this? Break away. Kind of almost like having a ceremony, like a funeral ceremony for that person. That's the toughest thing in the world, man. That is just knowing that person's probably alive, but you have to pretend like that person because you have a life to yourself. You got to live. You know, there's 2 things in this world that people can't take away from you, man, and that's smiles and tears. They can take your money, they can take your material things, but they can't take your smiles and your tears. Listen, we've had enough tears. It's time for some smiles. You know, it's time for some laughter. This family member is taking away our freedoms, our liberties, our smiles. And yes, you can tear when you're laughing too hard. I have teared up when I've laughed too hard. But what I'm saying though is this. You're going to have to take away the keys to the house, take the keys to the car, bank accounts. You're going to have to take everything, strip everything away. And then hope that person pray. I believe in prayer, the power of prayer. I do. I believe in that. But pray that person comes to their senses. At some point in time, they're getting tired of starving. They're getting tired of dehydrating. They're getting tired of being in an emergency room and then checking themselves out and going back out in the woods and doing drugs again. And listen, I got to say this too, man. If I was that community, because there are communities in these little, I call them homeless shelter or camps, homeless camps. And in these homeless camps, these people, some of them have brains, some of them don't. I've been down in there. I had to risk the safety of my life to go down into the woods to look for her. Not knowing what to expect, not knowing somebody had a weapon to pull on me, not knowing what her mindset was going to be, not knowing what she was going to say or what she was going to do. I risked my life and my family to go down in there, in the bowels of hell, to pull out a family member to try to save that person's life. And you had that moment to reflect on what you were looking at down in there. I mean, you got to understand, there's no running water, there's no power, no electricity, there's no way to personally, hygienically take care of yourself, there's no bathroom. They're living in the mud, the squalors. These fire pits are filled with trash and just crap. And you're down in there looking for your loved ones, not knowing if the person is safe or been harmed, and yet risking yourself for a person. And your mindset is this: how dare my family member put me in this position where I got to risk the safety of myself and my spouse, if you have a spouse, to come down in here looking for you to try to save you, and to have a cold welcome, not a very warm welcome. Matter of fact, people are looking at you, you know you don't belong there. You know you shouldn't be there. And not only you're risking the safety of yourself, you're risking jeopardy to that person that you love, because that person that you love knows that person should not be there. And the people down there in that squalor, they know you shouldn't be there. And so you got to deal with that. You got to process that. So every day and every night that you go to sleep, you're tossing and turning, thinking about those images you saw, and you're trying to process these images that this loved one, the person you're talking about, has a beautiful home, has a beautiful family, has a bunch of people that love and adore you, but yet you're a slave and a prisoner to this addiction. Listen, the only true way to really break addiction is you're going to have to suffer a little bit. But isn't it worth it for your loved ones, especially if you have children? You're going to have to suffer a little bit. Let me explain suffer. Is because it's going to be painful. That addiction has got such a hold on you, you might need trained professionals, and I believe you might, and you probably will. But if you want it bad enough, if you want to be clean bad enough, and you have a strong enough faith in God, you can get through it. But to be a total, complete slave to that addiction, you're a dead man walking. You're already dead. Because you don't have no morals, you don't have no integrity, no ethics, you don't have no love, all you have is hate. And this is all about families with addictions. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever it may be. Choose your poison. I didn't want to make this video an hour long, because I can talk for a long time on this. My family and I have been through hell and back on this journey. This has been a terrible experience, and my heart goes out to all, and my prayers go out to all you people that are watching this video, and you got a loved one, or you got some friend or family that's going through this stuff, and you're riding that tidal wave with them. My heart and prayers are out to you sincerely, folks. This has been the hardest challenge of our lives, to go through this, to see somebody that is so loved and so beautiful, and when that person wants to be so kind, but to become so, I don't want to use the word evil, but to become so vicious and vengeful and spiteful. It's not the same person no more. You got to watch your loved one walk away from you, and you got to do a blind eye, man. You got to cut it off. Done. And that is so freaking hard, man. Excuse me. And knowing that you probably won't see that person again, and the children won't see that parent again, that person again. You know, guys, if you have any comments, if you'd like to add to any of this, you can make a comment down below the video. Whether you choose to subscribe and like is up to you, of course. But, I would like to be able to shoot more videos, something like this, that maybe if we can all come together and open up this dark world that I'm speaking of. Maybe we can all somehow rationalize, therapeutically speaking, help each other through these tough times. Because if you truly are going through this, folks, I would love to hear from you, because we are going through it. And I would love to know how you're doing it. And maybe together we can help each other through the days, because it's one day at a time. Make no mistake about it. This is not something that you sit down and you plan the next year or two. You can't do that. It's impossible. But if we somehow, some way take this real dark book and open up and give it some light and share the truth to the people, because let me tell you something. This is a dark world. They don't want you knowing that world. They don't want outsiders in that world. Because in my humble opinion, I believe it's a very dark, spiritual, dark place. I mean, the place I'm referring to, they have evil spirit things hanging up in tree, gargoyles and all kinds. It's very, very eerie, very dark. And I think we should put some sunlight in this reality, that people need to know what they're really dealing with here. And if we educate our children from a young age, I don't know, use your discretion what age you think is right. I humbly think between 5 years old and up. Start talking to them to learn how to say no. Just say no. I went through some trials and errors when I was young. People offered me drugs, and I was fortunate enough to have two people in my life that I looked up to very dearly, and it wasn't my parents. But I had two of the people that were like parents to me, that I loved very dearly, that spoke of drugs to me and told me, Timmy, stay away from it. Two things are going to happen to you: prison or death in a ditch. And so I learned at a very young age, and I listened. If we do that for our children today, we can save these children. We can save my loved one. But we can't now. It's up to her or him, whichever it may be. So, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And once again, I ask, place a comment if you're going through this. Even if you're not going through this, I welcome the comment. Make a comment. And if you're looking for advice, I'll do my best. That's about all I can say is I'll do my best. And I'll try to shoot another video with some strong content. I didn't want this to be so long and so serious, but I just felt compelled to share the story with you folks. And that's what we've been going through. And maybe that's a lot of the reason why I haven't shot a video, is because of the hell we've been going through. It's every day. But that's the whole reason I shot this video, was to make sure you guys don't have to go through this. Communicate, educate. Communication expectations, make no mistake about it. Make sure your families know that there's nothing good coming out of that world. Sickness, death, destruction, pain, suffering. We've had enough. Need to stop it. Come together. Guys, thank you again. I appreciate it. Till the next time. See ya!